I've recorded this video 4 times. All have had audio issues. Hopefully this one does not. We have a 5-star Arwen. We did some testing. We did a lot of testing, actually. I'll give you the breakdown of how much she costs. Is it worth it? Ability priority, all of that stuff. If you guys want to participate in all of the future unlock events, I guess we will be doing them the second they come out for the rest of time, so you know when the events go live where you should be to make sure that you can see someone else waste your money on these characters, because thank you for helping support me over the years with the ad revenue and all the donations and stuff like that, to put me in a position where I can spend a couple of dollars on a game that I love, that is a sister game to another game that I love, and I'm just happy to be here. So thank you guys for all coming out to the stream. All that being said, Arwen is meh. She's $120 to get her to 5 stars. There's a $20 pack that gets you to 80 shards, and then it's going to cost you 7,000 crystals to get her up to 5 stars. You can either do a 50 and 20 or something like that, but realistically, you're going to buy the $100 vault of gems to have enough. And you have a little bit left over for some, refreshes to get Elro here slightly faster and stuff like that. And we actually do have a new, I don't even know how I could see the daily login bonuses, but we have a daily login bonus to help get Jack up. So one of the harder characters to get for the Elrond event, since they announced it's going to be at the end of June, is going to be a little bit better. So elves as a whole are going to be really good, and I think they're going to be the first team that can transcend the meta. The meta right now is gear, and I think they're going to be the first team where synergy can actually transcend the meta, and I think that's a good place to be, but they're not. If Arwen's any indication, I don't think they're going to be so ridiculously broken. I think they're going to be slightly better. I think you're going to be able to beat a full team of gear 8s, which is currently the max gear. It'll obviously go up to 9 and 10 and really soon, and that's fine. But it's right now, I don't think you can beat a full team of gear 8s with a full team of gear 7s. It's just gear is too powerful. I think this is going to be the first team where you can actually go in and beat those characters. We've punched up about 1,000, but that's mostly just a byproduct of there's just a couple of people falling in arena right now because they're doing stupid stuff like testing with dwarves and shit like that. So Arwen is not fantastic. As a plug-and-play character for your free-to-play light side team, and for those of you guys who are like, APGAINS, I thought you were free-to-play. I have plenty of accounts already that are mirroring what I'm doing here that are free-to-play, so I'm doing free-to-play testing, and then the main account is, I guess, going to be the spending account because there's not a lot of people doing testing out there day one. So, like I said, I'll give you guys an opportunity to watch the stream when characters come out to see if they're worth you spending their money on, because a lot of this game is and always will be resource management. The reason we were so popular and so successful in Galaxy of Heroes for so many years and continue to be, because it's still our main game, is because we were the best at managing our resources as free-to-play players. Nothing's going to change here, except for I'm going to have a personal perspective for my free-to-play accounts as well as my main account, which is going to start to unlock all of the stuff, just to make sure we know exactly the best routes for you guys who aren't spending money to progress through the game, if that makes sense. I replaced Strider with Arwen in my team. They're about the same. Strider is, I believe, gear 6 on my account, which is not great, and she's gear 5. So obviously she's got less stats and less gear, and she has less damage because she's not an attacker and stuff like that. But I think her regeneration, a little bit of dispel, a little bit of guard. She's not a terrible plug-and-play character. There just aren't a lot of characters in this game other than Gaz who are spectacular. Right, so I don't think the power creep has quite hit the game yet, which I really appreciate. Will it hit once Elrond's out? I think that's going to be the first incremental power creep. Like we talked about, it's going to be the first team I believe is going to transcend actual gear levels just being the bottleneck right now. Because if you think of the same company, different game, Galaxy of Heroes, you can bring in a full team of Relic 7 characters, which is, not the highest, but it's one of the highest, possible levels that you can bring a character to as far as progression is concerned. And you can fight them with a Gear 12 team or a Relic 1 team that has great synergy, and you can beat that team just fine, right? The entirety of Galaxy of Heroes, which is the game that came 7 years before this and has kind of shaped everything we know about Heroes of Middle-earth, that game is entirely based on synergy, and right now this game is too early to kind of have that synergistic part of the game. So I think if you really want to dominate Arena, which I'm going to be honest, you shouldn't want to dominate Arena, this is going to be the way. The reason I actually decided to shut up and get the Elrond team is not because I want to dominate Arena, because, like I said, the people at the top of the arena are going to stay there because they're spending a ridiculous amount of money. And then the people who are right next to you, if you're not spending money and you're progressing, they're progressing at the exact same clip as you are. So you're not going to gain any ground. You're not going to lose any ground. Like I've been silver 1 for like the entirety of my tenure in this game since global launch. Obviously in the beta, I was the number 1 player in the world. So but I think if you want to actually start to punch up an arena, elves are going to be the way to go. But like realistically, until the raid hits, until we get, GAC, until we get TW, until we get TB, game modes where you actually need to have multiple squads, you need to have multiple squads with multiple synergies. You got to have your Haradrim team, you got to have your Elven team, you got to have your Rohirrim, you got to have your Nazgul, you got to have all that stuff. Until that happens, I don't think it's worth it to spend money on these legendary characters unless there's something you're passionate about, right? Like I wasn't originally planning on going for Elrond. I was going to save everything and go for the Witch King because the Nazgul are the reason that I love Lord of the Rings. So until we get those game modes where you need to have multiple teams and synergies are more important, like we get a God, I can never remember the King of Rohan. Whenever he comes to the game and kind of buttons up that Rohirrim team, whenever the Haradrim get their 2 data mine characters that help give them that, like, if you're thinking Galaxy of Heroes terms, that Phoenix-like synergy where they share all of their passives and stuff like that. When the Nazgul come out and absolutely dominate the meta and kill everyone mercilessly and are unbeatable, and I'm so happy because I'm such a fangirl. I think that's going to be more the time where this game is more exciting. So if you're wanting to know what to do as a free-to-play player to really set yourself up to be meta and to progress and to be good, go very wide, right? Sure, you can farm your elves. Like, obviously do the event for Arwen and Illidan, get them the 3 stars. When they become farmable, farm them up. Obviously, they're still going to be the best team. But, like, progress your Rohan, progress your Isengard, progress your Haradrim for sure, progress your, Road to Rivendell if you want, progress your Mordor. Like, I mean, maybe the Dunlanders because they might be required for one of the other Nazgul, but just, like, progress everything. And a lot of people are like, oh, no, you can only put resources into your arena team. Like, once you hit the place in arena where you're getting, like, 50 to 90 crystals, you're not going to get much more. Like, you, as a completely free-to-play player, you are not going to push up into Gold 2 and Gold 1. You're just not. I mean, I guess in the newer shards you probably can. So maybe the silver 1 of the Death Shard is like the gold 1 of the other shards. But like at a certain point, they're gonna hit the wall of people who are just gonna have more money than you, and that's fine. So once you've hit that wall, start to branch out a little bit. Start to get a couple of more characters from a couple more teams. I generally say that Gear 5, level 30 is about a good place to take every character, and not every character in the game, but like, for my Rohan faction. Right, for my Elven faction, I'm gonna take them to whatever's required for Elrond. But like, where is the letter R in the English language? For like the Rohan faction, I'm gonna take them to Gear 5. I might even take Wilfwin to Gear 5. Who knows? I'm gonna progress them hopefully up to 5 stars, which is where I'll leave these guys. Eldred, I don't know if I'll take him to 5 stars just because he's a premium character right now. Once he hits a node, I'll obviously do that. Wilfwin, I no longer need to farm, mostly because I opened up a better Topaz node, so that's not the thing. But just play this game for the game modes that are coming. Don't play for Arena, because Arena sucks. Arena's pointless. Play for the long run if you're going to be a free-to-play player, and I promise you'll be successful. Hopefully the audio is not glitched. As always, I love you. Subscribe to make me happy, but also to get all of the best content, and I will see you later.